Frankie, some
Hi,
sad
man.
news earlier in the week. We lost Ian Balding. You were stable jockey to Ian for quite a few years in the 90s. What sort of man was he?
It was great to me because I was young. Obviously, I was first jockey for Luca, but one of my big breaks, I guess, was Lochsong. Obviously, I struck a great relationship with her, and then from then, obviously, I was riding most of the resources. First, actually, the first time that I rode for the Queen was for him. We ended trained a few for Her Majesty, and then obviously Jeff Smith, Mellons, Arden, also, and so other owners. So it was a good leg up for my career, and yeah, it was fun times. This is when I first met you, as you said in the newspaper, a snotty young kid from Liverpool. I think you summed it quite right, actually. And it was, yeah, of course, as our relationship started, then more and more I used to come down to Kingsclere. This is how I got to know you. And obviously the star attraction was Lochsong, but she was a nightmare, really, because she had two speeds, walk and flat out. And I remember, you probably do remember that we had an open day and all the owners were there. And as usual, yes, no, just go to the bottom and just canter up in front of the owners. And obviously, when she got to the bottom and turned left to come back home, and she bolted out, I think I scattered all the owners. That was one of the funny stories. You do remember that, do you?
Yeah, I know, of course. But that was Ian, wasn't it? He was a bit of a showman. He loved to put a show on for people in the public. He wanted to show off his great horses, and especially with locks on. And you didn't often ride her at home either, did you? Because you couldn't really hold her at home.
Exactly. It was no good for me because it was a two furlong wonder, and that was it. So yeah, but so more and more I came down to Kingsclere, and of course I was young. I was in awe of him, and Emma was great. She made me feel welcome, and I was tried to be on best behavior, and the dinner was ready, and prior, after dinner, then he used to take me to the sitting room, and what I realized, I was only offered one drink. So the first time I was there, I poured myself a gin and tonic, go quiet, a weak one, and the old VCR cassette came out of Mill Reef. So he explained the whole story, and then the second time, maybe the third time I came along, I realized that it was a bit of a pattern here. Right, you only get one drink and you get to see the Mill Reef tape. So on the third sitting, I poured myself. It wasn't a gin and tonic; it was a tonic and a more gin than tonic. And yeah, again we watched the Mill Reef, but I was quite content because I was half married, and so yeah, it was lots of fun times. And yeah, I mean, he kind of took me like, of course I was his jockey. I was like his one of his sons, really. Claire and Andrew, they're more or less my age, and yeah, it was fun times, but amazing success. For the short period I was there, we won a lot of races, and it was so much fun to be with. When things are going well and we were winning a lot of races, everybody was in a good mood. Yeah, it was good times.
And how did you find him to ride for? He was strict at times, wasn't he? But I always thought he was fair.
I'll be honest with you, Marty, I never had a problem. Maybe it was you. I mean, it was good to me. He kind of, more or less, we knew exactly what we had, in the stable. We knew exactly how our horses behaved, and the way to ride them. So I didn't give him much of the instructions. It was quiet, it was very chilled. But even if you do made a mess up, he used to kind of bite his lip. He used to try to hold it, but you could tell he was crossed. But in general, it's lots of fun. Obviously, I wrote for him abroad as well, so we used to travel together, and I mean, it was great. It was a good time, and I remember, walking around the house looking at the pictures. I mean, that picture of him jumping that huge bank.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really still vividly in my mind. I mean, it must have been a 9-foot drop. I mean, he was brave as a lion. And, you know, obviously I didn't see him ride as an amateur, but and when I saw the picture, I thought, oh my God, you would have put people riding at badminton in shadows. I mean, that was a super jump.
Yeah, he rode round the Grand National, didn't he? He was a frustrated jump jockey, wasn't he? He loved jump racing. He loved all racing. And he was a bit of a daredevil, wasn't he? Do you remember he used to
Yeah,
make us go around the gallops backwards and design? He designed a new gallop. I don't know whether you ever did it. He called it the Cresta Run, and we went down one gallop backwards, crossed over a sand gallop, and back up the near hedge. And he loved all that, didn't he?
yeah, and also, I mean, he created some extreme jumps for his pastime for like a country cross country event. So, yeah, it was very like you said, very a daredevil. But and always, you know, to me, always came across a man's man. You know, he was firm, fair. He was a workaholic. And you know, like I said, he never backed down to any challenges. You know, he's yeah, and I loved him for that. You know, he was never an issue or maybe not. You know, it was always let's go for it. So it was great, and it was like I said, it was a good leg up for me in my career, and he's it was part of my career that I find very pleasant and enjoyable. It was good fun.
Yeah, he had a great sense of humor, didn't he? You didn't always see that. You mentioned earlier he'd bite his lip in public. He was very old school. He wouldn't say what he was thinking in public.
Yeah.
Well, with me anyway,
Yep.
he'd get me back to his office and tell me what he thought. But he had a great sense of humor, didn't he?
It did. It did. Yeah. Yeah, listen, in general, I would say it was kind of. No, I'm not saying laid back, but he had the kind of persona that he was always in under control. So yeah, but like in you know in racing, you can't get it always right. So I could see when like the frustration probably wanted to strangle me there and then, but he always kept the reserve. You know, he was a true gentleman.
I've got to tell you a story. I was with him I can't remember. I think it was Kempton on the turf when we had the turf meeting. You'd messed up on two or three of the horses. I don't know
No,
what you
you're sure. Just
Yeah, I don't know what you were doing that day, right? You had a nightmare. You messed up. I was riding for him in the last race, the apprentice race, and he came out and he was in such a bad mood and it was pent up. And he had a go at me because my saddle had, the fluffy top on it to keep your
yeah,
backside up.
yeah,
And he
yeah.
said,
The bum cover.
yeah, and I'll never forget it. And he said to me, any jockey, any respectful jockey worth his salt would not have one of them. So I
But
couldn't help
I
it.
had one. I had
Yes.
one.
I couldn't help myself. And I said, well, Frankie has one. And he said to me, he looked at me, he says, don't even talk to me about him.
And yeah, it was good. And yeah, well, I do remember I used to jump in his car and put dogs in the back, the classic music flat out. And I thought, God, are we going to the opera or something? We're going to gallop some horses. Yeah, it was quite eccentric like that, but fun memories. We had a great stable
Yeah.
and lots of success.
I do remember touching back on Lochsong, what a filly she was. And I think Ian loved the fact that you suited her, not just your riding style, your exuberance and your showmanship. And he loved that. And I tell you what, I do remember you gave her a nickname. It was at the time, who was the runner?
Linford Christie.
Linford Christie. And you said she's Linford Christie without a lunchbox.
I think I stole it from Jason Weaver. I mean, he told me that, so I used it and it took off. She was, look, we not always we have iconic horses. You know, obviously I had Enable and, with Frankel, of course, but at the time she was an unbeatable superstar sprinter. Then she was champion sprinter 2 years in a row. Won the Kingsclere, won the Ibex twice. So she was, people could relate to her, and full credit to Jeff Smith who kept her in training, and Ian, that he trained her so well. She was super consistent. I mean, she threw the odd bad race because she was very temperamental, but to be champion sprinter 2 years in a row is very, hard to do. So, but I think people got to get engaged with her, and I was part of it. So it was both of us a win-win situation.
Yeah, well, look, Ian will be sadly missed. What a trainer he was, and what a man he was. I think you summed him up really well, and you said he was a man's man. And
Yeah.
these days, people are scared about saying that type of thing, but he really was, wasn't he? He was old school. He didn't suffer fools, but if you earned his trust, he was loyal. He was a
Yeah,
loyal
listen,
man.
and you know, he wasn't afraid to give you, you know, kick you up the ass or tell you exactly what he thought behind closed doors, and that's why the stable operated so well. You know, everybody, you know, if you had his trust and you turn up from work, you did your job, you know, he was well off for it. But he's also he's the kind of person, if you did something wrong, he will tell you. But he tell you in to help in a way to help you. And you know, of course, look, we're talking about Ian, but you know, Emma, she was fantastic behind the scenes. And then obviously Claire, you know, she was a great amateur rider, and also she was, you know, she went into TV, and then Andrew took over. You know, he done his apprenticeship with the Ramsdens, and then you know, big boots to fill, and you know, our job is done. You know, he's done remarkably well. He built it, even more than what Ia did, and he just carried on the legacy. And yeah, and then you know, Andrew is one of the top stables in Europe. I was fortunate enough to win him a classic before I retired. So yeah, I mean, Ian's left a great dynasty in horse race, you know, and nice to see Kingsclere still. I would say that Ian now, you know, up there, he'd be watching down, and say, you know, he'd be proud of what Andrew has achieved.
I think you're spot on, Frankie. They are really nice words about a man who came along at the right time for my career and yours, I think. He introduced us. We've been friends ever since, and we will always think of Ian. What a man he was. And yeah, like you say, he'll be looking down on all of us. So thank you for those kind words. Before we let you go,
Yeah.
just tell us, let's catch up with you. What's happening? Where you're in Uruguay? I see you're jumping off a horse in Uruguay the other day.
Yeah, I promised that well, obviously I'm retired from Europe, I retired from America, and I promised I would just before I would start as an ambassador for Amo Racing, and this year in the spring, I will fulfill my commitment, and I promised South America I would turn up and ride. Obviously, Argentina did, Uruguay yesterday. I'm going to finish in Rio. Other countries has asked me, Peru, Chile, Ecuador, but I can't go and ride everywhere. So I picked these three. It's been an amazing experience. The country is fabulous. The love for the passion for racing is you can touch it. It's really vivid, and you know, it's something that I always wanted to do. I was a little bit not tearful, felt a bit emotional yesterday because I rode a winner and I got a tremendous reception. I'm thinking, you know, if I don't win in Rio, this could be my last winner. So I'm trying to enjoy it in a nice way and grab all the emotions before I finally hang my boots against the wall. How'd you say? Hang up my boots or whatever.
The boots up.
Yeah, and yes, listen, this is my third time of practice retirement, so I'm getting quite used to it, and of course, I will miss it, but I've got this new engagement that is going to keep me in the sport, and yes, listen, Flower Time is going to catch you up. I'm 55, and I got to retire sooner or later, so I think this is a perfect moment, and. One leg to go, Rio de Janeiro, the 1st of February.
So that's it. That's definitely the 1st of February, your last day in the saddle in Brazil.
Yeah, and I'll see you back in spring in Europe.
The new role with Amo Racing. You sound excited by that.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, Martin, if that didn't come up, I would have possibly gone back to California, do one more year. But when this opportunity came, and you know, they don't come very often, such a new setup, stable with young people expanding and investing is just exactly what I can get my teeth into, and it keeps me going forward. It and it keeps me in the sport. So I'm really looking forward to be part of the Amo team and make it better.
So you finish on February the 1st. We're going to see you back in Europe in the spring. Going to see plenty of you on racing TV at the races.
Yeah, I feel sorry for David Egan and
So do I.
Rowan Scott. I'm going to give them plenty.
And what about
yeah, of course.
What about the trainers?
Of course, yeah, we've got lots of young trainers. I got to go. Some of them I already know. Obviously, I don't know Kevin that well. But, nice to embark in this new role, get to know the horses, get to know the people, the trainers, the lads. And, it's not going to happen overnight. So I'll have my hands full in the spring. I'm looking forward to that. And so you're going to see me a bit more often.
Well, we look forward to it. Listen, I hope you finish off with a bang on February the 1st. You have a few winners. And to answer your question before a press record, I didn't get stung by a bee. I've just got a little bit fat. So we'll see what you look like after a year or two of retirement.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay, no worries. Yeah. Anyway, I can't believe you never mentioned Everton, but that's another discussion. We'll talk about it when I get back to it.
Arsenal have won the league. Everton will finish in the top half.
Okay, take care. Listen, we'll see you very soon.
We'll see you in the spring. Take care, Frankie. Thank you for sparing the time.